Landon.
Yes.
We're on YouTube.
Okay.
Ow.
Joey.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube.
And what the viewers that are listening, they might be able to hear this, and it's going to sound like, I don't know, maybe the movie. Pitch Perfect. I put a bottle of whiskey up my butt. I put it in there, and then I just shut up. No, what I'm doing is this place where I got my coffee in this Christmas cup.
Ooh.
What day is it?
January. I know this.
But they gave me my tea. Don't they? With green tea, you're not supposed to let it steep the whole time. So I'm using the extra cup here, and our viewers can see this at home. I'm going to take... This is how you do it when Landon... I ask
January
Landon,
19th.
I say, can I use... No. I say, can I use... Oh, no, you're right. I say, can I use a trash can? And he just says no.
Who says?
You.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to make a do.
Ew. That's why I don't let you use the trash can anymore.
Hey, can I use your trash can? I got to make do.
Like, that's what that was?
And then we'll let that sit there.
That was the smell? That was that smell last time you came over? That was the smell! Like that great scene in Dumb and Dumber where Bob Saget gets so mad at all the
There's
all the beep
on the walls.
There's S everywhere.
Yeah, S all over. That's not a clip you see transmorphing the universe right now.
No one's sharing that clip.
All I'm seeing is the one about the code.
All I'm seeing is that one of Nikki Glaser made a song that's sincere.
Oh, is that the one where she's like, soon I'll be 20 years old. I think it's up, old. That's.
No, it's like
just picture everybody naked.
Bob, I will miss you, miss you, miss you.
Is that her song, Bob, I'll miss you?
No,
That's sweet.
And no shade to Nikki. No shade to Nikki Glaze. It's just apparently she's starting a singing career, and her first singing song is like "Don't Leave Bob" or something, and it's
Seems
just
like this all came together a little too conveniently for her.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying you might want to look into Bob's.
You're not a conspiracy theorist. I think you were the one that said JFK was at the rally. He was just disguised as Donald T.
Well, no, he had a mustache. He was in the background. You can obviously see it's him just with a mustache, like Ron Swanson. You know, in some of those seasons of Parks and Rec where they had to use a fake mustache for Ron Swanson for some reason?
Because the guy's got other projects.
Well, they make him shave it off when his ex-wife comes to town.
Right.
Tammy 1 or Tammy 2. And he shaves it off. And then the next episode, he has to have a mustache again. And they're like, how'd you grow that so fast? And it's obviously a fake.
It's like
phony. It's a fake. It's a phony.
It's like when Zach Galifianakis hosts.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Coded.
That guy's just so funny.
I'm sorry for breaking that up, Coded. That's my Zach Galifianakis.
Pretty good.
When he hosted SNL, he had a beard.
Had a beard. It's a boy.
We had a beard. It's a boy. He announced a musical guest. He ran off stage. They shaved his mustache.
That's right.
He came back and did, I think, a sketch with his mustache. Mm-hmm. No, his whole beard. Mm-hmm. And then they put a fake one on. And then he had his whole beard back.
Right.
He got his beard back. Yeah. That's how that band got their name.
Hey, and that's not to bring up Harry Potter again, but when they almost kill Beardback, but then they cut away to a slicing of a pumpkin.
And you realize the whole time it was pumpkin all along.
And I have to apologize to the young lady on the Wizarding World Cup game show. She was a little closer than I gave her credit for when she guessed that Brian was Albus Dumbledore's third middle name. It is, in fact, his fourth middle name. It wasn't a joke answer. But then you get to thinking, you're like, oh, well, it is a joke.
It's a JK joke.
It's a JK joke.
It's the kind of joke that...
Albus Wulfric Remus Brian Dumbledore.
She's writing that from her safe space in the women's bathroom. She should open a restaurant where it's called Turf and Turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Take my life, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. Hello, boys. I'm still free as long as I've got my vanity.
I just want to say that I think I'm probably the best showrunner there's ever been.
Hey, that's what I was going to say.
Hey, what are you doing here? Sit down and give me 20 or I'll cancel your career.
Hey, this is like some kind of crazy episode of a sci-fi show. I think I should write this down and have it be two sexy females playing the parts, and then I'll get to have sexual relations with the two sexy females on the TV set because I can't help it.
By the way, just because the Cybertron man got his part cut from the movie isn't because I don't like him. It's just that he's a bad actor. And he's a bad actor. I don't like him. That's not it's just that it literally don't make no sense that he's in the movie.
What do I sound like? Why do I sound like this? Joss Whedon, times have changed you into a... Well, and maybe time is the only thing that changed. Mm-hmm. In fact, you were a nasty little scoundrel the whole time.
I think I'm getting because of how far we're sitting away from each other, I think I'm getting a delay on your jokes.
There's none.
I want to circle back to the Wizarding World Tournament just because I finished the season.
Whoa!
I didn't realize that was it. I didn't know it was only going to be 4 episodes.
Just 4 measly episodes.
And I'm not going to tell people who won.
Please don't. I haven't finished.
There's a little bit of a weird bracket situation where you've got 2 weak links, and then you can maybe have one come back, and then you've got the 2 best teams from, like, what's going on here? Is there going to be more than this season? I mean, I really hope so.
You would think so. I mean,
I don't think they got Jay Leno to sit down to do that once. You know?
They'll bring him back. They just want to, they're, like I say, they're just checking the oil on the old Harry Potter vehicle.
9 3/4 think you're being funny, do you? Everyone has to pretend like they're excited or that they didn't know stuff before.
Right.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
How did you get hired for the show? Driving a bus, that's how. If you know anything about anything, you already know all this stuff. If you've watched Harry Potter once, they're like, I think... I just want to say that I think his name is Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Like it's just some stuff that you just know, and they're like, it just blows me away that they let this stuff happen on HBO. HBO used to be the king of TV.
Well,
it wasn't TV. It was your home box office.
And they had dirty, nasty things on there. Well, I think it's only on HBO Max because it was already on TBS or something.
Very funny.
It's not a joke, just like everything else I say.
But what station was it on?
TBS.
Very funny.
I'm not joking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have to tell you something. It happened again.
It happened one night in the last one of Soho.
I was creeping around one of the world's greatest stores. A little circle with a circle in it. You know what I'm talking about?
And someone spotted you.
Someone said, out of the corner of our ears, we hear, I love your shoes. It's always the shoes with these people. This lady, a young lady, comes up to lady! She comes up to the woman whom I live with and says, I love your shoes. And of course, being nice, oh, thanks. Where'd you get them? I think from the website. Oh, and you're trying to just do the bare minimum of small talk so you can move along. I'm just being silent. I'm just standing dumbfounded because it's happened again. These people are all over the place. They come to Target. Why do they come to Target? They want to get us into their little scheme. What do we look like? Do we look like fools? Maybe that's it. Maybe we look so stupid. They want to scheme us into their little, I'm going to retire by age 30. No, you're not.
You could. It just depends on who you... I think the problem more is just who you marry into.
I can teach you how to retire at the age of 30. Well, that's 10 years from now. I think I'll have something figured out in 10 years.
I think in 10 years when I'm 30, I'll be good to go.
Exactly.
Certainly won't be doing this. Won't be at Target the day before I have to do my podcast.
I won't be shopping at Target anymore. I'll be shopping at Burberry.
Oh.
For all my fancy clothes.
You can't get everything there, Landon.
Yes.
No, I don't think so. If you need a phone charger, I don't think that's...
Well, at least clothes and groceries. Because Barry is right in the name.
Yeah. Can you buy a...
cheeseburger
there?
I think so.
You can?
Sure.
Okay. At Burberry, they have...
cheeseburger.
Do they?
I think so. I've never been in one.
God.
I've never been allowed to.
You gotta stop talking about it. I'm just thinking about that now.
About what?
Cheeseburger. Just a word makes my stomach growl.
I'm getting hungry.
Okay, well, should we have lunch then?
Yeah,
If you're
I guess
so
so.
damned hungry.
I'm a little hungry, but I just want to say to you...
I'm a little hungry.
You know what happened to me at the store, actually? This is another store story.
Store stories.
Store stories. With Landon and Joey. Store story. Hey, store story. Hey, story. Landon and Joey. So I was at a little store called Blarnes and Norble. I was looking at a book. Okay, I'm looking at the book.
Harry Potter.
I'm looking at Harry Potter.
I knew it. You're like
opening the pages. I'm looking inside the book.
You're like,
should I get Cursed Child or should I not? This is the special stage draft edition with both part 1 and part 2.
it's like you were just gonna sell them separately at some point.
You never sold them separately in the first place.
Why do you say that on the cover?
Just say the Cursed Child. Like, well, because the play has 2 parts. Every play has 2 parts. If I read the producers...
Come here, I'm gonna smack you in the 2 parts.
No,
Come here.
Okay.
Come here. Bend over.
Yeah. Get crisp. And I'm just looking at... No, what I'm looking at is the fabled coffee table book section where there's big books, and I cannot lie.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking at the big books, and then a woman, and in my periph, I just see another customer. This customer just looking at a book next to me. And she says, I'm looking at a book, and she is just looking at a book.
She says that to you? She says, I'm looking at a book. And you're like, yeah, me too. Now scram.
Cheeseburger.
So I'm looking at the book, and I hear her say, God, they make books about everything nowadays.
Wow. They do.
They do. And I was just like, I gotta see who said that. So I look up, and she's looking at me.
I love that.
She's just staring at me and kind of like, isn't that crazy? And it's just me holding the woman whom I live with. I'm just holding her coat, because she decided she needs to let some steam off or
Yeah,
something.
she's
you know?
like, get a little hot under the collar.
She's like, I'm out of here. So I'm holding this big coat. I'm wearing a coat. Basically, I'm just a coat.
Human coat.
But she's just looking at me, and she's just like, can you believe they? And I just looked at her, and of course, I'll put it this way. I'm masked up. She can't see
Thank
what my
you.
face looks like.
Thank you.
I see her mouth is agape. Mm-hmm. And I just go, yeah, anything you can think of, huh?
the holiest of holes.
But that wasn't good enough for her.
Her mouth was agape. I should have said it. I didn't want to interrupt you, but then I thought, no, this is good enough. I'm going to interrupt. The holiest of holes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you say to her, I didn't hear anything because I was having my internal.
I just said to her basically.
So she says, let me do it. She says, they'll make a book out of every. She says, they'll make a book out of anything nowadays, won't they?
And I turn, and I see that she's staring right at me, mouth agape, and I say, yeah, anything you could think of. And then she just kind of sets the book down and walks away.
Not good enough, pal.
What did you want me? What am I supposed to think of? If I'm not doing the podcast, I'm not always on.
Exactly.
I'm not IFC.
Exactly. People don't get that when they're talking to us out in the public. They see who we are. They notice us. They're like, "Oh, that's the guy from my lunch break podcast." And they come up to you and they say, "Wow, they make a book out of anything nowadays." And they're holding up, I don't know, the Bible.
Yeah.
Like the oldest book on earth. And you're like, "Yeah, they'll make a book out of anything."
Like, what did you want me to say? Like,
Did you see what she was holding?
I said that better be the King James edition because I love James. Because I love LeBron.
Yes.
So that better be the King James version because I love LeBron. That's what she wanted.
She wanted something like that, or to do like that. Better be the King James version,
Right.
Because
I'm so grateful for my wife. God gave her to me, and I could not be more grateful to God for that. My incredible hot doctor wife.
she wanted something like that for
Yeah.
you to say.
She knew that we were going to do the Sharpiro on her ass. That's what she was hoping. I wish
yeah.
I saw what the book was. Is it a book on different types of Kewpie mayo?
Yeah, could be. You know,
What was it?
She was holding up that book, Foodheim,
I looked
by
at
Eric Wareheim. It's like they'll literally make a book.
confusing on every level.
I guess this.
So his last name's Wareheim.
The unfunny part of Tim and Eric likes food, I guess.
So it's his last name. So it's food. It's just. She's like, that's like if you just made a book called Food Boda.
Hey, not a bad idea.
That's not bad. That rolls off the tongue.
Food Boda. Food Boda, come here. How about that? That's like a guy from Star Wars.
Yeah. And then
come to me, Food Boda, with nothing more than a chump change.
Ciao bella. Ciao bella, Josemito.
Why are you saying that, Food Boda?
Football.
Thank you. Hey. Nice to see you again, Food Boda.
What are you talking about? Who's Food Boda? My name's Moon Knight.
Okay, so we're just getting through all of it today, aren't we?
Ra-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Your name is Mark Spinkter.
My name's Mark Spinkter. Why'd you call me Mark Spinkter?
Well, that's your name, isn't it, Pipsqueak?
I thought my name was Spencer. Spencer Cronkite.
No.
From Glasbury. Moon Knight coming this to plus.
Looks kind of good, though, huh?
I'll watch it. It looks like a movie. If I saw that in theaters and if I saw that and then I saw the trailer for Morpheus or whatever, Morpheus the vampire,
Yeah.
I would pick Moon Knight. First of all, I love seeing asses in the night.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
I'm the Moon Knight. Oh, ooga.
Bends over, spreads them.
But if you're gonna be
ain't no
if you're gonna be
moon.
Morpheus the vampire, first of all, there's already a Morpheus. There's two of them.
Yeah, one's a different one.
And you're going to tell me you're Morpheus the vampire.
Well, first he'll say, "Rouse, I'm Venom." Just kidding, I'm Morpheus.
Baloney.
And if you are someone at a theater watching, like say you...
I am.
Say you go to Sing 2, and you see before it the Morpheus the Vampire trailer, and the final joke, because every trailer has to end with a joke nowadays, the final joke is him joking about another movie that you've never heard of or seen. That sucks. He's mean to the guy. He goes, "I'm Venom." And the guy's like, and then he's like, "No, I'm actually just kidding. I'm Dr. Morpheus the Vampire."
Dr. Morpheus the vampire.
And he's like, "Oh, okay." Morpheus the Vampire coming soon.
The joke is that your name is Morpheus.
The joke is you have to have a working knowledge of all these dumb frickin' franchises.
So you're Morpheus.
You think my great-grandfather is at the theater and he's getting that and he's like, "I'd like to go see Morpheus the Vampire, the movie."
And guess what happens? The other joke's on you, because if you say 1 ticket to Morpheus, guess what you're going to go see? Guess what you're going to go see?
What?
Not that. You know, you're going to get red pill, blue pill, uphill, downhill, or whatever.
He holds out 2 pills. He says, "This pill will make your headache go away.
Yeah.
This pill, if it lasts longer than 4 hours, come back and talk to me. I want to see." And you have to make that choice.
You have to make that. That's morbid. They should call him Morbius. Landon, I got a game that I want to play.
What? We haven't even had lunch yet.
There are people that are watching this, and I'm going to ask them to do something very, almost like a steak, very rare. Close your eyes. What? Because we're going to play a game, and then you're going to be able to see the end result. I'm going to do 2 rounds of this, and I'm going to have you guess.
Me? I have to close my eyes?
Close your eyes. You have to guess if I'm doing this while moving my mouth or not moving my mouth. Okay?
Okay. Let me close my eyes.
All right. I'm a jalapeno on a stick. Okay, now here it is again.
Okay.
I'm a jalapeno on a stick. All right, which one did I not move my mouth for?
Number 2.
Okay, so I could be Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Hey, let me out of this closet. I gotta get out. I gotta put my socks on.
Moving his mouth, ladies and germs.
And then this, hey, let me out of this closet. I've got to put my socks on. I did not. You could put a feather on my upper lip, and nary would it tickle me.
Let me just try.
Harry Potter. That boy who didn't live.
Now you do it.
Cheeseburger.
Mouth didn't move, did it?
Nope.
All right, let's have lunch. Do you have something?
I don't have anything, but I have a story.
You come to me on the day of my brother's funeral.
May I remind you,
Mayo?
Cupid. May I remind you,
Cupid and Abraham.
may I remind you,
Of Cupid and Abraham.
the fine people of the all right.
The movie starring William Shatner that they get for the commercials.
It's beautiful up here. Jeff, you've showed me the clouds from above the clouds. William, we could have done that just being in a regular plane. We're above the whole world up here. Jeff, what you've given this 90-year-old man is hope. Hope that he will live past the fragile age of Betty White. Hope that I shall live into the future. And I will also have a movie in theaters. And I will also have an incorrect People magazine on the stands that people will buy just as a joke. Because a woman has died. They will buy it just to be ironic. I hope that one day... All right, Will. Well, it's good to see you. kicks him off in the air.
Kicks him off. That all
A
happened.
frozen Shatner floats away,
That
just
all
like
happened.
a Clooney. May it be an evening star that shines upon you. Landon, what are you eating?
Okay, well, I guess we can share.
We don't have to share. I mean,
This is a little treat. Hey,
I hope this is what I was almost going to buy today. If it is, I'm going to flip. I'm going to flip.
Okay. Okay. Hey, come over here.
Huh?
I've got something for yous.
For me? What for me?
Of course, you know I'm from Boston.
Yeah, of course. We're both from Boston. We live in Boston, Massachusetts.
Come here. Let me show you a vat of something I've been working on.
Okay. By the way, this is not what I was going to buy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. Now, have you ever craved something so incredible that just the photo on the front of it might make you say, "Oh, that's the good stuff"?
I mean, if it was beans, sure.
Look into the vat, son.
Oh.
It's my Boston baked beans, ladies and germs. The Boston baked beans.
The red hot.
No.
I'm saying the photo on the front conveys a spicy nut.
Yeah, so the Boston baked bean is a candy coated peanut.
Why?
And the it's not baked.
What is that? Is that a...
I doubt it's from Boston.
No, and why do they call them that? Candy-coated peanuts.
Whoa, I've never read this. Let me read this quick. Whoever told you these were beans was jerking your chain, but you didn't mind. At the center of these delightful little candies was a crunchy peanut, and you loved peanuts. You also... Did you die?
This is something you read at Landon's funeral.
When I die, and in the next year, read this.
Okay.
Promise me.
Yeah.
You also loved the
Can you
heart...
imagine? People would look at me.
That's his best friend? You also loved the hard candy coating, which you could savor slowly, letting the coating dissolve in your mouth,
Why did you used to? You have a box in your hand.
or crunch to your heart's content. But make no mistake, these weren't your grandmother's baked beans. They still aren't, thankfully.
Okay.
That tells you nothing.
Taking a shot at grandma. They aren't baked. They're not beans. They didn't tell me anything. They just hired a guy from Twitter. Could you kind of make a snarky thing on the back?
Yeah, I think that's new. Because
Well, no, because Boston baked beans used to be just sold in earnest.
Yeah.
It's just an American, it's just a hardworking candy.
It is. Established 1908, the original Boston baked bean. And the box, the packaging, has never looked different.
No.
The photo they use, it looks like when you walk past like a Chinese place with all the photos of the food in the window, and they're all faded.
They're bot faded.
Somehow the photo on the Boston baked beans looks like that. Like, I don't know if I want to eat that.
Well, how long have these been sitting on the shelf?
I think they made one big... Have I done this on the show before? I feel like I've said this. Maybe not on the show.
Say it, and I'll tell you.
I think they made one big batch in 1908, and they've just been living off of that.
I don't listen to the show.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, I already cracked into these,
Yeah.
but
God, they look so good.
I'll come to you.
This is service with a smile. Just give me some of these. Okay, one fell on the table. That's an automatic out. I was going to try to bite half of it.
Have you ever had a Boston baked bean?
Yeah.
Now, this is a treat that I have to tell you that I love. It's an old man candy.
Oh.
I have many good memories of eating the Boston baked beans with my old man.
Just staring at each other in the eyes, face to face, not talking.
Yes. Just both crunching and cracking.
The candy shell is thicker than I imagined.
It's a nice crunch is what you're getting. Now, I've never done what they said here where you let it dissolve in your mouth.
No, that sounds disgusting.
No. Yeah.
I wouldn't let that happen. Ow. It's just strange that they still make these.
Now here's the funny part. Product of Mexico. So you want to tell me your Boston baked bean. Meanwhile, they're slaving over the big pot of baked beans in Mexico?
Halfway across Connecticut, at least.
Mm-hmm. But it also says manufactured by Ferrara Candy Company in Oakbrook Terrace, Illinois.
This is something I could see eating with some popcorn at a movie. Get some popcorn.
You throw these in
Get
there?
a couple of Boston baked beans because they're not going to melt, turn to crap. You're also not getting a completely different flavor. I don't need Sour Patch Kids with my popcorn. Get it out of here!
Who's doing that?
Well, someone made like Sour Patch Kids popcorn. Period. Okay?
Okay.
And I don't need that. I would have bought it for the show, but I don't want that. Boston baked beans, I give you. I give you. Is it doing what they're supposed to do? An 8.8.
Well, that's
I don't
what's
know
funny.
what
I
it
don't know
is.
what they're supposed to do. Like, what are you supposed? It's a candy coated peanut. Yes. Is it a Boston baked bean? No.
What is a Boston baked bean?
It's like beans, right?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I could have told you that. I just didn't want to.
Well, no, because anytime we bring up Bean, you then go into your Rowan Atkinson Mr. Bean impression, and then I can't get a word out of you edgewise. So,
Well, here's the thing. The main difference between baked beans and Boston baked beans comes down to the use of molasses. Boston baked beans bake in a sauce typically made with molasses, while traditional baked beans cook in brown sugar or corn syrup. You know, but brown sugar has molasses in it sometimes. So what are they saying? Because they're both sugary. Corn syrup, brown sugar, or molasses. Someone's going to drive off the road listening to this episode. Why do they call Boston baked beans? They're a candy industry name for sugar-coated peanuts that have been dyed red to match the color of, you guessed it, baked beans. Their origin is muddy. Boston baked beans are made using a cold panned candy process. I can't get into all this. I mean, I'll read it later for sure.
all right, now I'm doing it. You know,
I think they are good.
I love them. 0.8.
0.8 out of 1 fruity cereal Kit Kat bar. Sorry, Mark. I have a story for you, and this involves Landon.
No.
Every year without pause, except for last year, and we've only done it maybe 1 year before that. I made Landon a pie, and he felt the need to make me a pie to say, I'm better than you, nanny bubbo.
Yes.
And I said, this is not better than mine. Thank you. Try again. You are the weakest link. I flushed him down my toilet. Mm-hmm. This year, I said, I've got to get a recipe down. What I tried to make, and I tried to hide it a secret from him. Oh, God. This green tea's doing something wicked to my brain.
Wicked tea, man.
Wicked.
Oh, what's it?
Bloody hell.
No. Wicked.
Something wicked this way come.
Oh, no, I know. The Ewok. Wicked. That likes Princess Lady.
So, I think the movies don't talk enough about how he likes Princess Lady.
They don't even mention it.
Don't give me Boba Fett.
Give me Wicked. The Ewok and Star Wars fans are yelling at their computers right now.
Give me Wicket! Yeah, you know what? A lot of Star Wars fans are usually yelling at their computer screen, give me Wicket. I tell you what. So I tried to make a pumpkin pie, but I bought this pie crust that was chocolate made with pecans and walnuts. And I said, I've had pumpkin bread that has dark chocolate chips. I've had pumpkin pie that has, maybe the nuts, like a walnut in a pumpkin bread. So what's the difference? If I have a pumpkin pie that's got a chocolate crust, this could be very interesting indeed. It was not.
No?
In fact, I might have overcooked it, the crust. The pie filling, perfect. But I, more often than not, did not finish the crust. I would just get it off. I said, get off the crust. Because it was taking too much away from just the pie.
Sure.
You can't do that with the crust. So I've tried a different recipe. Okay? This is one I've never tried before.
Okay.
Last night it said, okay, so you take it out of the oven, you let it sit for 30 minutes, then you have to chill for 4 hours or overnight.
Yeah.
So I've not eaten this pie yet.
Gotcha.
I'm excited to try it.
Sure.
But I don't know if it's going to win. I don't know if it's going to be better than what I've done in the past.
So you're really trying, huh?
I'm really going in, but from just smelling it last night, I don't know if I thought I'm excited. By the time I get to the real, like the third one has to be either this one is good, I'm doing it again, or I got to go back to Old Faithful. And by that point, I don't know how much more pumpkin I can eat. I mean, it's a lot of pumpkin to eat.
That is a lot of pumpkin to eat.
It's a lot of pumpkin to eat. People don't understand how much pumpkin you have to. When you make a pumpkin pie, there's a can of pumpkin.
You have to eat the whole thing.
You cannot share it because then you're not getting a well-rounded idea of what the pie tastes like.
Exactly.
What if I give you a good piece?
Right.
And I get a bad piece? Well, then I think the pie bad. You think pie good?
Right. And then I'm not going to believe you. You're like, no, it's actually good. And I'm like, you're just saying that. I can taste it. It tastes like shit.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's actually really good. My piece was awesome.
It's actually very tasty. It's actually super tasty.
Okay, well, you're actually super stupid.
Actually, I made the pie, so I know what went into it, and I got a good piece. You actually got a bad piece.
Yeah, well, I made the pie, and I actually know what went into it, and it's utter shite.
I mainly eat hair pie, but this pie is a little bit different, and it's actually very, very good and tasty.
I prefer mincemeat. There's no meat in it.
It's actually a strange name for a pie because you think mincemeat and you say, I can't eat that. I'm a vegetarian. But actually, you can eat it because there's no meat in it.
Mincemeat is actually just code for a bunch of fruit.
And guess what? Chicken pot pie?
Yeah.
It's not a pie.
What?
It's not a pie. What makes a pie a pie? What makes a pie a pie?
It is a pie. What do you mean?
Is pie because there's slop in the middle?
Yes.
I'm serious.
It's a crust.
I'm not joking.
It's a pie. A pie is in a pie dish, number one.
So if I
Ding
bake
dong.
a cake in a pie dish, it's a pie?
Yeah. No, it's a pie. A pie crust obviously is different than a cake, fool. So it's a crusted.
Here's my question to you, and maybe I'm getting ahead of the curve a little bit.
Doubtful.
Graham cracker crust or regular crust?
Well, it depends on the pie, doesn't it, you fool?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No. Every pie is better with one of those.
You think it's graham cracker because you're an absolute monster. No wonder you can't make a pumpkin pie to save your life.
This is
You're putting it on a graham cracker crust?
You think that...
Oh my God.
I make the pastry. Bologna. In fact, I was at Costco the other day. Bologna head. And by the other day, I mean when I bought I've gone once since I got my membership.
I was going to say.
How much toilet paper do I need? But they had a $6 big pumpkin pie.
With all the pumpkin you've been eating?
Guess what? It was in a pastry pie, so I didn't buy it. I said, I'm going to spend $6 on something that's going to go in my mouth that's not graham cracker?
That's just
I might buy it.
So-
I might have to buy that pie.
You think
Yeah.
that a chicken pot pie would taste better in a graham cracker crust?
I don't know. You're the sweet and savory guy. I made it for you.
A chicken pot pie.
A chicken pot pie can't because
it's not supposed to be sweet.
Chicken pot pie basically has soup in the middle, and it's just gonna lay waste to the bottom layer of that graham cracker crust.
So so when I make you the world's greatest pumpkin pie because I've discovered the secret.
The pie. Okay, so a pie crust. What do we call that? A puff pastry?
A pie crust? It's a pie crust. It's a pie crust.
The bottom part is tasty as can be. It's when you get to that thick back, which normally I love a thick back.
Yes, little got much back.
But sometimes there's just too much of a flavor in there.
There's no flavor. That's the beauty of a pie crust. It's barely any flavor.
But not when you get to the back part, the little ridge, the tsunami wave, the crust on the back.
Well, if you're not cutting it off like a maniac, you don't just let it go wild.
Well, I don't just let it grow. It's not it's like a bonsai tree. I get it. You cultivate it. You snip. You snip. You make little leaves. You make little pie crust leaves that you put on top.
Out of the remnants, yes.
Once it's like the book War and Peace. Though you've laid waste out of the remnants, you create pie crust leaves.
Yes.
And you put those on top, and then maybe I like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't like when it's just the thick pie crust at the back. If that's graham cracker crust, I'm going all in.
I like
put a little extra whipped cream on there.
Here's the deal. I like graham cracker crust.
And I like pie crust. Landon, what are we fighting for?
We shouldn't do that anymore, old pal.
We told ourselves after we did that shtick on our TV show
and the podcast
and a couple other projects,
we said never again.
And here we are fighting like two old gum bags. Look at this.
Oh, I just want to. Sometimes what?
You gave this to me.
Yes, a bean.
And what did I do? I fought you over crust.
Never again, old
What's your
pal.
favorite pie crust?
Ever?
Fucking idiot. Before you even say it, I know you're wrong.
What?
I know. No, say it. What's your favorite pie crust?
It depends on the pie. It depends on the pie.
I meant pizza crust.
Pizza crust. Yeah, there we go.
I think that is the best.
Yeah, pizza crust.
Yeah.
Because pizza crust, the pizza crust is very tasty.
Pizza crust. Did you, I don't know, perchance to dream, perchance to sleep, perchance to watch anything this week?
No. No, I told you last week I was watching that Daredevil series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because
you did say that.
I'd only ever watched the first 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. And everyone says season 3's your best.
Gotta get it.
And I'm in the middle of season 3 now. And I gotta say, they were right.
Wow. And is season 3 the final season of the Daredevil?
Yes.
Gone too soon.
But the deal is, they say the season 2 is the worst. But that's not my opinion.
Wow.
I think it's pretty damn... Now, as I finish season 3, of course, I'll be able to make a better assessment. But
every season has its ups and downs.
Season 2 is pretty darn good, I gotta say. The only issue with season 2, of course, is that it had to set up. They were using it to set up all those other bad shows. Iron Fist, Lucas, Jumping Jones.
So you got Jumping Jack, Lucas, and Iron Man. And I think that's what did the downfall. They said we're doing too much because all those shows are gone now. They're all gone.
Yes. Well, and I think at that point in the Marvel history, I don't think Kevin Feige was in charge of everything.
And he was trying. He was down in the bottom of a well, screaming up there.
I could be the best showrunner of all time.
You shall not pass.
I'm one of the nicer showrunners of all time.
I do faith on myself. And by the way, Gal Gadot, the problem is she don't speak English no good.
Guy's crazy.
And to think, I used to think I would watch Buffy.
To think, at one point in my life, I almost decided to watch Buffy.
We were younger back then.
Thank God I never did. And to think, I used to think that he made Firefly.
I used to think that too.
And he
Good
didn't
thing he
even.
didn't. We can still watch that.
It is funny how people will break their backs trying to realize that, like, retroactively say that they always knew he was bad. Like, no, you didn't.
That's why I didn't watch the show. No, it's not.
No. And he was actually a fake feminist the whole time, which, okay, yes. That may be the case, but you didn't know that.
Where's your information coming from that you would know that? I just felt it. No, you didn't.
I could tell Buffy actually wasn't a strong female.
Is this him talking?
Yeah, he's taking down his own.
He's just looking in the mirror.
At this point, that's the only way he can come back from this.
I mean, he kind of already is doing that.
But not.
I told Gal Gadot that she would have to murder me and kill me as a joke, but she doesn't speak English. And she's just like, yes, I do.
Imagine me not understanding all of your crazy words. I mean, he's always...
There's no justice. No league of their own. Did you make that too? There's no crying in the baseball or in the bone zone. The bone zone?
I actually wrote the theme song to Firefly.
We know. Joss.
Take my life, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. It's 3 notes. Anyone
Yeah,
could've-
I mean, we've
could've written
said
that.
for the last few years that we also knew that he was bad.
Obviously.
Take that into account.
Obviously.
Did you finish Daredevil?
Not yet.
Oh.
But I did watch the Defenders, which was the big...
Yeah.
The Avengers of those bad shows,
I
and
think you
Daredevil.
mean Defenders.
You know what I'm saying. Where they all come together, and everyone had said that it was bad. Everyone was right. Not very good. But it is mandatory viewing for the Daredevil continuity. If you go from season 2 to season 3 without having seen the Defenders, you will be a bit confused for a while. Now,
This is where they start.
that's the
losing me.
problem. You could just watch like the last episode of Defenders and get it, though. You don't have to watch all 8 episodes.
I mean, that's just that comic book logic where I'm like, why is the Joker dead all of a sudden? They're like, well, you didn't read Batman Dark Knight episode, huh?
Yeah.
Number 426 and Batman True Detective episode 323.
Right.
Like, I guess I didn't know I needed to.
Yeah. I mean, in the comics, it's more fun because if you want to, you can go grab it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, they just tell you that.
Yeah.
They just say, this happened.
They're like, oh man, I can't believe the Joker died because Batman hit him on the head last week
Yeah.
in Kalamazoo. And then it says like, if you want to know more about this, dear and constant reader.
Yes. And I've been reading Dan Slott, a writer, comic writer. I've been reading his big Spider-Man run. And there are so many, like every page has one of those where it's like, see Amazing Spider-Man 525 to see how the jackal turned into the tarantula or whatever the
It's
hell.
also like he's writing that. You're like, hey.
Yeah. And then it always quotes as like the editor.
Yeah.
Like Simper and Steve, the editor. Freaking.
Oh, I just thought all those comic books had like someone named Ed that worked there.
Yeah. Mr. Ed. That was bad.
I put peanut butter on my mouth.
Joey, that was bad.
Oh, the one you did?
No. Joey, what'd you watch?
I watched a couple things that I want to get into the nitty-gritty of.
Please.
I watched something called Don't Look Up.
Wow. The funniest, darkest, most on-the-nose satire ever created.
Did you watch this?
No.
Without spoiling the end, I'll say this.
Jennifer Lawrence can get it.
Isolate that and put Joey under it. I don't care. Everyone's mad at Adam McKay for some reason. Have you noticed this?
Because he didn't tell Will Ferrell that he gave the part to John C. Reilly.
A bunch of rich people fighting. Cut my nuts off and call me a squirrel.
Cut my nuts in 2 pieces. This will be a squirrel.
But everyone's like, okay, we get it. He does the whatever that other movie was, The Big Little Short Man. Mm-hmm. He did that where you see someone. It's like, I guess he did that, and that was kind of a novel thing, where it's like Sofia Vergara skiing naked through the woods as she's talking about stocks and bonds or whatever.
Yeah, she's like.
But I don't care one way or the other about him necessarily. I guess I don't. I certainly liked Step Brothers first time I saw it. I laughed.
Sure.
I can't remember anything. Anchorman's funny.
Yeah.
And now he's doing this. Whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
But to say that it's a comedy is, I think that's why people are. He's trying to make things funny in ways that just the story's not funny.
Well, ain't it a kind of a satirical send up of the modern day?
Yes,
man?
it's supposed to be about Trump and
Right.
And I don't know, alternative facts.
Right.
But it seems like it's coming 5 to 7 years too late.
Well, I think that's why people are mad at him.
All the jokes in the movie about it are like, one of the jokes I think is just that Jennifer Lawrence is listening to Wu-Tang Clan and like rapping to it. Yeah. Like one of those things that would be 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
like that's the first thing is you meet her and it's like just close-up shots of her like rapping with her headphones on as she's like discovering this comment. It's like, what? Why is this? Is this supposed to be funny? It has nothing to do with anything.
I think it's like Bo Burnham said in like his two or three specials ago when he was talking about how it's obviously not funny that white celebrity women rapping to F the police.
I mean, that's kind of what's happening here.
It seems like that's the same observation.
Or they're trying, like that's his very quick way of saying like, this girl, she's a badass. Like she's actually not just your typical scientist.
Right. She's kind of got a funky
But then
side.
yes, every joke is like, I don't know, I guess Jonah Hill's kind of just being obnoxious to be obnoxious. Where he's like, what's Wizzy up, you dingle dogs? He's like, oh, were you going to eat that? And then he eats it. Like he's just playing a weird over-the-top bully.
Sure.
Because his mom's the president.
Gotcha.
There's just very...
Seems awesome.
Know. And what else?
You started this making me think that you were going to be defending this movie.
All the jokes about like the internet and how people are, it's just frustrating to watch because it's a parody of nothing. Because there's nothing to make a parody of.
Well, hasn't real life become the parody itself?
People say that, and that's what it is, because then they just keep showing tweets of people going like, actually, there's not a comet coming. They just want you to think that, and it will kind of do that little montage of like people on TikTok saying that, like, don't look up. It's just, but it's 2.5 hours long of this like parable of politics now. And then with the ending, it's just a depressing movie.
Sure. I don't know how it ends, but I can imagine a comet hits the earth.
It's not funny. I mean, I'm not mad at the guy.
Well,
it's a fine movie, and it's great to just see. It's great to just see Leo lose it every once in a while.
Oh yes, he's one of the best at
You just
losing
love when he
it.
lets loose, and all you can do when you look at him is say, "There's Leonardo DiCaprio."
Hey, look, he's doing another role in a movie.
Everyone in the movie, it's just all people that only I see it is when I look at them, I see them.
Sure.
When I see Jennifer Lawrence in something, I just see her.
Uh,
Leonardo DiCaprio, even if I like the movie, I just see him acting.
yeah.
Timothy Chalamet, I just see him.
Yeah.
Those tight little cheekbones. Who else is in this thing that I can shit on? Meryl Streep.
Oh my God.
You're on the chopping block.
One of the most overrated.
And she's just being mean president. Anyway, what else I watch is something that,
Wait, do you like it though? Did you like it?
I mean, if you want to watch a movie that gives you existential crisis,
No, if I want to watch a movie like that, I'll watch Disney Pixar's Soul.
6 out of 10. Hey, by the way, did this come up on the show? Yeah, it did because we went, "Aww." I found the jazz record.
You did?
The soul jazz music.
You did?
And it says on the cover. I found it at a record store.
And it says this is the jazz
I was going to send you a
version?
picture of it, but my car was parked outside with my phone in it, and I looked out there and I was like, I'm not getting my phone. No. But it said the jazz songs, basically. Like right on the cover. And I said, that's what these idiots are looking for. Now, we talked about something on the show that we were maybe interested in watching. This was a highly acclaimed, kind of controversial documentary about a band going through turmoil.
Right.
Metallica, some kind of monster.
Right.
I finally watched it.
Okay.
Now, do you listen to Metallica?
No.
Me neither.
Okay.
But I've always heard this is one of those, I like the music documentaries.
Sure.
And even if I don't listen to the band,
This is one you got to see.
everyone says you got to watch this, and it's kind of weird because it's them in therapy after being together for 20 years, and everyone thinks they're, these big, crazy devil worship, whatever.
Right.
And this came out, I guess, 20 years ago at this point. Pretty interesting, kind of funny. The funny part is watching these guys that have been in this huge band. Oh, and were you going to say something,
I was
sweetie?
just going to ask, who's in Metallica?
Lars.
That's right. Okay.
And 4 months into filming this documentary of them making their new album, the lead singer goes to rehab and is gone for a year. So they think they're going to break up. And then he comes back a changed man and doesn't want to do the documentary. But the funny part is, and I think that's why it became this, because they're like, oh, we got this band at this weird point in their career where everyone is fighting.
Right.
And yelling at each other, and you see them how it sucks to make a record.
That's good for TV, man.
It's good for TV. And it's just funny to see how some of these lyrics, it's almost like you're watching a parody of a metal band making music, because they're he keeps singing, I'm madly in anger with you. It's like they take one word and change it to something dark.
Yeah.
One guy, they're all they all have lyrics that they're kind of reading through for the song, and one guy is like, my lifestyle determines my death style, and someone goes, oh. It's like these guys that started a band when they were 17 just
Never
never
grew up.
He's like, oh, they're like death style.
Death style.
And then you see him they cut to him singing it, and then later he's singing it and this crowd's like, yeah, but just him them talking about it and going that sounds cool. That sounds dark. It's just one word is always twisted to make it seem, or he's frantic TikTok, and he's frantic TikTok, frantic TikTok. It's just weird. It's what I assume Spinal Tap is, which
Yeah.
I now will watch it.
Now, after these many years, he will watch it because he watched the Metallica documentary,
But
which is called
Some Kind of Monster. But after you watch that, there's a part 2 that came out 10 years later where they revisit the band and the guys in the band.
Is it just them watching in a little?
It's just them watching it, so
picture
it's just
box?
another 2 hours, and they're just like,
Wow,
oh, that was mean.
I really did say that, huh?
Wow. And they're frantic TikTok.
Pretty cool.
But then they're like, yeah, everything's good now. And you're like, okay. So that was interesting.
You watched part 2
Yeah,
too?
it was like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because it was about how they did a 3D IMAX movie, but then it was also a 10-year anniversary of some kind of monster.
Right.
And it's them talking about how uncomfortable it was for them all to watch that. And Lars is a little guy. So, and then I also watched something else. Les Scream.
The 5?
No.
Oh, the
I'm rewatching.
Gotcha.
To get to 5, you must first watch Uno through Trey.
To watch Scream, you have to watch Scream.
To watch Scream,
2,
you have to watch Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, then you
Scream
watch
4,
Scream 4, and then Scream.
And then Scream.
Here's the BS with these movies. Put them all on the same service.
They ain't, are
Scream
they?
1 and 2 are on Peacock. Now I got to re-up Peacock and watch Psych 3 again. Then you got to switch over to your Stars account on your HBO account on Amazon to watch Scream 3. Scream 4, I'm not so sure yet.
I just watched Scream 4. I think it was on Netflix.
Okay, well, either, but it might be one of those things where around Halloween, you're like, I'm going to watch. I've seen
Right.
Friday the 13th has been on Netflix for the last 7 months.
Right.
Time to watch it. And then they just, they pull it off.
Yeah.
They say,
No, you got to rent it now.
no.
Yeah, they know that everyone's going to want to watch the Screams now that Scream is coming out.
So, and under just added on Peacock, it said Scream. And I was like, yo, madres. Yo, madres. With a little purple feather next to it that means
The peacock must pay.
and I'm the peacock.
Yeah.
So I paid. So I watched the first one. Hey, this movie's pretty dang good.
Wow.
I haven't seen it since I was.
Le bébé, le chanson, le tiny boy.
Yeah. They're good.
Yeah.
They're all pretty good if I memory serves.
And I must be interested in the new one.
You must be.
For Wes Craven no longer abides by the rules because he's in the nether.
Yeah.
So now we've got 2 other dingbats. I haven't looked in. I don't want to know what it's about. I just want to watch them.
I'll give you one guess what it's about.
What?
I'll give you one guess.
The Stabman is back?
Yeah.
I didn't want to know that. Do I have to watch the Scream TV show?
No.
No.
Come on.
And he's got a different mask.
We actually watched the first 2 seasons of the Scream TV show.
And?
Weren't bad. Weren't good. And then the 3rd season was like completely a whole new cast of characters, completely different. It was like they just were like, actually,
It's an anthology show.
yeah. Like the first 2 seasons were definitely built on the backs of one another. One long story, and then they were like, actually, it's in Atlanta now or something.
That mask is pretty crazy, though, huh?
For the show?
If you think about it,
Oh yeah, wild.
that was a pretty good one.
So you like Scream? Yeah, Scream's funny, man, is what's funny about it. It's funny.
It's funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It loves to reference. There is a weird part. I forgot Henry Winkler is the president. Wait. Hey, sit on it.
yeah.
I forgot he's the principal of the school, and it's weird seeing him be just a nasty man.
Right.
Well, he's pissed. And other thing about this movie is he goes out in the hallway and he hears a noise,
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of kids in the hall.
but the kids are gone.
He's laughing his arse off.
Kids are in the hall, and he's like, where am I, Canada? He goes out in the hall, and there's a custodian that turns to look at him, and he goes, oh, sorry, Fred, I thought you were someone else. And the janitor is dressed completely like Freddy Krueger. His name is Fred. He's got the hat on. He's got his whole getup.
That's
and I was just
hilarious.
like, and I was trying to remember, even though I've watched the Friday or whatever these movies are, the Nightmare movies more than I should.
Right.
It's like, was he a custodian and then he kills the kids? Like, I think he works at the school or something.
Yeah, because doesn't he have him in the basement? And
Yeah.
perform
because that's where the
sexual acts
the
on
boiler
them?
room
And then
of
gets
the
boiled
school.
alive.
Yeah.
Perform sexual acts on him?
So I'm like, are they trying to say that he's
Fred.
the janitor at this high school? It's just such a weird reference.
That's just a little Wes Craven thing, isn't it?
And Craven never played by the rules. He took the
No.
Silver Linings playbook and ripped it up.
No, I like that. I like those movies. They're fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch number 2 if Landon ever lets me leave.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.